What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Quarterback Eli Manning announces his retirement today from the NFL. The two-time Super Bowl winner, one-loss record was 111 wins, 103 losses. Threw 366 touchdowns, 228 interceptions as he played for the New York Giants, his only team from 2004 to 2019. And his most triumph victories came at the expense of the best organization in sports of this decade, and that is the New England Patriots, as he was able to win a Super Bowl in 2007, defeating the undefeated New England Patriots, going into that game with a record of 18-0. As Eli Manning made the play of the game, as he looked like he was going to take a for sure sack, and he was able to get away from the grasp of the defenders and circle to his right and throw a deep pass down there to David Tyree, who was able to hold on to the ball with the safety draped all over him and trying to pull the ball away from him, and he was able to hang on to that ball, and that set up the drive to throw a touchdown in the left side of the end zone to the wide receiver, number 17. His name escapes me. Number 17, Plaxico Burress, the game-winning touchdown as the New York Giants upset the undefeated New England Patriots 17-14. Eli Manning was the MVP of that game, won the Super Bowl MVP. You know, could have went to the Giants' front four as Strahan, Ura Moore, Justin Tuck dominated that game as they was able to pressure Tom Brady and negate the most explosive offense that NFL has seen in a single season. As that team from New England Patriots had, like I said, Tom Brady, the MVP of the league that year. You had Randy Moss, and they broke records for most touchdown passes in a season. And they put up record numbers with that team. They're a very, very explosive team, man. Very explosive team. Had a good, solid run game and a solid defense. And Eli Manning and them were able to defeat them in the Super Bowl. The Giants came through that season through the wild card round. They were 10-6 that year. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. That was a John Gruden coach team that was well coached. They was able to dominate them in Tampa. And then they went on the road to defeat the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Romo, Terrell Owens, a team that was the second best team that year behind the undefeated New England Patriots. They was able to go in there and win a defensive battle in a very tough physical divisional round playoff game, 21-17, as they was able to intercept Tony Romo late to secure that game. As the defense had a big game, and the running back, Big Boy Jacobs, was able to make plays in the run game. From that point on, they went and played in one of the coldest games in NFL history, as they went into Green Bay and beat Brett Favre in the NFC Championship game in overtime, as they was able to get an interception against Brett Favre and go down and set up for a field goal, and the field goal kicker made the field goal for them to advance to the Super Bowl, and that set up the stage to battle the undefeated New England Patriots, and they were able to come through that due to a dominant defensive line and the play of the game made by Eli Manning to David Tyree. That was his signature play of his career. And then 4 years later, he would get a rematch, the remix, with the New England Patriots 2011 season. This time, I think the Giants were probably a slight favorite, as New England kind of struggled to get to Super Bowl that year. A lot of people's eyes, they should have lost the AFC Championship game to the Ray Lewis-led Baltimore Ravens if the receiver don't drop a pass through his hands in the end zone late in that game. Baltimore went to the Super Bowl. They was able to hold on as the field goal kicker choked and missed the field goal at the last minute that would have at least tied the game and sent it into overtime. New England Patriots was able to advance to that. And the play of the game, that play was made again by Eli Manning. The pass down the left side toward the sideline to ice the game for the New York Giants. It was like he put that ball through a keyhole as he hit Manningham right there with two defenders draped all over them. He was able to fit that ball in a tight window to make that play to set that game up again for the New York Giants, as Eli Manning again was the MVP of the Super Bowl. So he's a two-time Super Bowl MVP, and that was his two signature moments of his career. Now his career is going to be very interesting to see if he goes to the Hall of Fame. I think he has a chance to get in eventually, but will he go in on the first try? I would tend to doubt it. He had seasons where he led the league in interceptions. He had seasons where he didn't play well, and he was, a lot of people thought he should have been benched and and they should have put in a backup quarterback multiple seasons, but they stuck with Eli Manning, whereas other teams probably would have benched him and put him on the sideline. He was able to stick through him, and that was based on him winning those 2 Super Bowls previously with the New York Giants. He had a lot of clout. He had a lot of clout built up, and he had a lot of clout built up off of 2 Super Bowl wins that gave him a little bit longer leash, a little bit longer rope than any other quarterback would have had with those seasons that he had put up, those mediocre at best seasons that he put up with high interception totals at the end of the season. He would have been benched, but that those Super Bowls allowed him to build up a lot of equity with the fans and the organization. He was able to hold on to his job, so it's going to be interesting to see if he does make the Hall of Fame, man. But he was a good guy off the field, man. Did a lot of things for charities, and he was big in the community, and he was the face of the franchise, man. Eli Manning, he was an unassuming type of guy. He was a very poised in a clutch situation as he played his best football in playoff games. Both Super Bowl runs where they ended up winning the Super Bowl, holding the Lombardi Trophy. He was unbelievable in those playoffs, man. Threw a lot of touchdown passes, very few interceptions, and he was the best player in both of those 2 playoff runs, 2007 and 2011. He was the best player on the field in those 2 runs. The 2011 season was very, very impressive, like I say, because I thought once they got to a Super Bowl, when they beat the New England Patriots, the game before that, the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco Giants, I thought that team was very, very strong in the trenches, kind of like this 49 team that's going to Super Bowl 54 this year. They're very, very, very strong in the picture. Dominant offensive line, dominant defensive line, strong running game, well coached, good fundamentally sound. And Eli Manning was able to go to San Francisco and defeat that team as the Giants on a punt return fumbled the ball. Giants recovered, and they was able to go down for the winning field goal to get to that Super Bowl. I thought that was their most impressive win of the 2011 season, not actually the Super Bowl over the Patriots. I thought that 49er team displayed during that season that they were the best team and the most solid team during that season, and the Giants were able to beat them in the NFC Championship game after going to Green Bay and beating Green Bay that year. Green Bay was 15-1 that year, but the 2 weeks off I think hurt them. They was a little bit rusty, couldn't get into a rhythm. The defense, even though they were 15-1, the defense to me was not as strong as it was when the Packers won Super Bowl in I think 2012 when they went on that run from the wild card round and won it. The defenses wasn't as strong, but they were 15-1 nevertheless, had explosive offense, and the front four was able to get after Rodgers and make his life miserable. They was able to kind of slow down that offense just enough to allow a hot Eli Manning and his receivers to take over that game and put up big plays and score enough points to win that game. That was in the second round. So that second Super Bowl was a more impressive playoff run. The first Super Bowl, they beat the ultimate team in the Super Bowl in New England, but actually that 2011 team was more impressive throughout the playoffs because they beat a 15-1 Packer team, and I think they beat the best all-around team in San Francisco in a championship game. I think that team was like 13-3. So they were not, and they beat the Atlanta Falcons in the wild card round at home. The Atlanta Falcons team was solid with Matt Ryan and those guys. They beat them and dominated them, shut that offense down, and then went to Green Bay, beat a 15-1 Packer, and then beat a solid, in the trenches, strong, fundamentally sound San Francisco 49er team in the NFC Championship game. So Eli Manning has retired from the NFL, and we'll see what happens in 5 years. Will he go to the Hall of Fame, or will he have to wait a little while? We'll see what happens on that front. But all in all, it was a roller coaster ride, in my opinion, as far as Eli Manning's career. He had a lot of great moments, and he had a lot of bad moments. But one thing you can't take away from him is those 2 Super Bowl rings and those 2 playoff runs that led to those Super Bowl rings. He was one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game during those 2 playoff runs. And that's what ultimately might get him in the Hall of Fame. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. This is, and if you agree that Eli Manning is a Hall of Fame, or if you don't, agreed that he's a Hall of Famer. You think he should just not go in ever? Leave your comments in the comment section, and I'll respond to them. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.